So, after a 5-0 hammering by Liverpool, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer due the sack now? Is he due the sack? Because I've not seen Ole under this amount of pressure for such a long time. Is he actually due? Is he actually going to be sacked tonight or tomorrow? Are we going to wake up to Ole being, sacked? I don't think we are. I think, generally, I think he will still be in charge come the end of the season because there is not enough ambition from Manchester United nor the board of Man United to be able to sack this fraud because, they want to keep Ollie at the wheel. It's almost like him and Arteta are the same. They are so close, so bad as managers, but, they aren't due the sack because, no one wants the job. Now, United fans may need therapy tonight as Saeed rants, Aaron, Flawless, who else? Yeah, those are just some of the top United fans that I can think of, that are due the sack. Um, Big Steve will be loving it, Man City fan, Big Steve. He'll be loving it tonight. And the most embarrassing thing is that, that Sir Alex Ferguson actually left the ground early over sitting there watching the rest of the drab game because credit to Klopp and Liverpool, they could have easily had 7, 8, and 9 or 10 if they really wanted to, but they kept it down to 5. Klopp probably said to them in the dressing room at half time, "Enough is enough. Let's just take the handbrake off and let them play." Pogba goes then, so he'll be out for three games or whatever it is. Even Flex to a point as well. He did well. If they do get changed, then it's time to just start taking Man United seriously again. But I don't think they'll even get the. I don't think they'll even sack Ollie now because it's 11 o'clock on a Saturday evening. But I don't think Ollie will get the sack. Today it doesn't look like it because the Glazers haven't come up with any statement or whatever, and I don't think tomorrow morning we'll wake up with Ollie being sacked. I generally think he's there till the end of the season because, Paul Pogba, Ronaldo might be tapping up Zidane at the moment, but or even Antonio Conte, but it might be a time when Man United fans just need to accept that Ollie is there for the long haul and may never even get replaced because as soon as Ollie will keep his job because there comes a point where the pain has to end. But I don't think it's going to be any time soon that United see the back of Ollie because I generally think they think that the Glazers think that Ollie's the man for the job, and judging by his statements today, as Fabrizio Romano put out on Twitter, he doesn't seem under any type of pressure. He said that we'll go again at the weekend. The players might do, but I don't think he will. But at this point, I actually think he is going to actually be there for the next few weeks. Another hammering by City or Spurs that might finish him. But I think today he's just shown a statement of where Ollie, he didn't even know what to do tactically. Klopp just sat there and laughed. Kenny Dalglish, as you have all seen, who's there laughing in the stands with Sky Sports, and Gary Neville is still there backing his mate. Paul Scholes is the only real Man United fan who has turned on Ollie. Even Rio put out a tweet saying, "I've had enough." But, he won't publicly criticize Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because it's his mate and everything. So he'll be looking at it, I was just reacting, we'll move on to the next game, another win and they'll all be back in Ollie in. The United fans left the game early, leaving the Stratford end empty for the remaining game. I think they all left at 60 or 65 minutes. But, there comes a point where you need to just take in and say, hold on a sec, this is all just madness. This there has to be an end. Now I'm not giving anything away here, but as Chelsea fans, we sacked Frank Lampard for thing, and even Arsenal said Unai Emery for less than what they are now. So while those two clubs have fallen completely from grace, I do think that Oli will still be in the job because Zidane Conte might take him to the next level, but I don't think they actually want to go to that next level. The Glazers, I think they're very happy with where they are at the moment. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge, and long may it continue, because as long as Ole's in charge, they ain't winning nothing, and they'll continue to fall further down the table. And in a few years, there might even not be a top six side. There might be a top 15 side or a top 11 side in the league. Should Ole continue to be in charge, because I've not seen any inch of pressure from Ole tonight. No, from no one, not even the hierarchy at Man United. So I don't know for how much longer they think that we're gonna see Ole. I think we're gonna keep seeing Ole for another few weeks, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I think we might just see Ole for another few weeks, maybe. But even speaking to rival fans, after Chelsea drubbing Norwich 7-0, 7-0 against Norwich, and then Liverpool winning, Manchester City doing their thing as well. All the title winning teams won. And I think this season will show even Chelsea. Everyone was now tipping us to win the league, but we're being told by City and by Man City and Liverpool. And I think now, over the weekend, we've seen some teams going back into form. Arsenal, who were really out of it from the get go of the season. They're climbing back up. They're 10. They're 10 now, but their next couple, they've got Leicester at the weekend. That could be a tough test, a real tough test, because Leicester are doing their thing at the moment. They are 9, so it's 9-3-10 in the league next Saturday. And today, what today you showed me is that I actually think Mikel Arteta, as much as I don't like to say it, I think Mikel Arteta actually is looking a lot better now as a manager because of Ole. Ole is making Mikel Arteta look like a golden boy in the Premier League as a manager, because yes, Arteta might be tactically inept, he might not have the experience, nor does Ole, but Ole actually managed Cardiff and got them relegated, and Cardiff fans and Malmo fans certainly don't want Ole back. So when they do sack Ole, and I'm not sure when, but if they do ever sack Ole, I don't think he'll ever get a job again in world football. Whereas actually, I think Mikel Arteta might actually get a mid-table team job in the next year, because he's building Arsenal, I think, slowly from a mid-table team. I think this season, he's built a squad where they can grow, and I think if they do continue to winning ways as they are, I think they might get top 6 at the moment. But there's nothing to suggest that they can't. But the way I look at it is that this Premier League season, and well, let's just say Watford and Norwich are already done and dust. Well, Watford won at the weekend, so you can't say they're out of the relegation battles at the moment. But it's looking like £350 million Newcastle and Norwich are happily just taking the Premier League money at the moment. But I think those two are long gone. I think even under Graham Jones this weekend, Newcastle don't look anything better than what they did under Steve Bruce. Now, I'm not saying that that doesn't show any signs of ambition, but it will take a long time. And I think the managerial roundabout, as I said in my previous video, is so small that it's going to take a lot of time to find a manager, find players who actually want to play for Newcastle, and get them built as a super team. But at this moment in time, it's looking like the owners of Newcastle have got the completely wrong team. Yes, they are always there, unlike Mike Ashley. And they are engaging with the Newcastle fan base. But at this moment in time, Newcastle might be spending that $350 billion that they have in the bank, in the championship and trying to come back up. Same as Norwich. Norwich are just happy to take the money at the moment and be popped around each week. I don't think they have any lack of ambition to actually stay in the Premier League at this moment in time because they look so toothless. And I'm still not sure how Daniel Farke, after yesterday's 7-0 drubbing by Chelsea, managed to keep a job. But I think Norwich are more than happy. And Delia Smith, Norwich's owner, I think she's another one. No one really talks about Norwich's owners being bad, but I actually think Norwich's owners are actually as bad as, or actually is, probably amongst one of the worst owners in the league because no one talks about Norwich being not financially backed. But, I generally think Norwich are not backed at all by, their owners, whoever their owners are. Yes, they're probably a championship team in the Premier League, but what do they actually want as a football club? Do they just want the parachute money every time they come up and then take it back down and spend it and pop the championship each year? Because all I see is a team in deep, deep trouble of going down every year and coming straight back up because they'll pop the championship. Look at Bournemouth and West Brom. Their Premier League team is popping it in the championship at the moment, and it wouldn't surprise me if Norwich and Newcastle are replaced by Bournemouth and West Brom again in the Premier League next season, And as I said, it is boring because you get the same teams coming up every year because you know what to expect. And I think, Rafa Benitez getting hammered by Claudio Ranieri. Yes, I know Claudio Ranieri lost 5-0 in his first game as Liverpool as Watford manager, sorry. But he got his team to beat Everton 5-2, and that's making a statement after a game and a half in charge. I think it's pretty difficult that he went in there on facing a really strong informed Liverpool team, as they showed today against Manchester United, to go to Old Trafford and hit 5, and to send Fergie home early as well, and send the fans home by an earlier trip home for the fans. I think that's really, really puts where United are in their where United are as a club at this moment in time. Now, looking at why do people just say why aren't people talking about Norwich? They're saying that they don't invest, which they haven't really invested, but why they are probably everyone said Mike Ashley was one of the worst owners in the Premier League, and I'm not denying that. But why isn't Norwich being talked about as the worst run team in the Premier League at this moment in time? Because Daniel Farke is, he'll pop the championship next season and then he'll take this squad back up. And, everyone was saying, oh, Norwich have done a fantastic job of winning the championship again and coming back up to the Premier League. But, surely a change of owners for Norwich City, if they get bankrolled, they're going to be right up there and actually buy some proper Premier League players that will actually compete to stay in the league at Norwich. And that's where I have an issue with this whole Premier League team. But, next season, if Norwich win the championship, they should be banned from coming up because, they'll just take the parachute money from the Premier League to sit bottom of the Premier League all season. And apparently they can only amass a total of 9 points if they'll be relegated before Christmas, because that's what it's looking at. They're so far adrift that they could be relegated before Christmas, being worse than Derby County's record under Paul Jules in 2006-07, I think it was, when Derby got relegated on 4 points, I think it was, when they got relegated. And that was in and around the time that Robbie Savage and co were playing for Derby County, and that's saying a lot. And I think from where teams are now, everyone also said watch out for Aston Villa in this season. But, without Jack Grealish, Villa are not looking all that, even though they got, Arsenal, as poor as they are under Mikel Arteta, they still got bopped by Arsenal of all teams as well. And Thomas Tuchel just took us to levels above Norwich. And yes, it's Norwich, I'm not getting carried away. But we've got Southampton in the League Cup in a couple of days' time. I think it's on Tuesday that we play play Southampton in the Carabao Cup. I'm hoping that, a ring of changes, We're not sure how long Lukaku and Werner will be, but I'm hoping that another Kai Havertz and Callum Hudson-Odoi will put Southampton to the sword. And, Tino Livramento and Andrew Broja, Cobham was shining over the weekend. Fortress Cobham was shining over the weekend. Broja and Livramento scoring for Southampton as well. Dom Solanke scoring a brace, Cobham really was shining. Reece James scored at the weekend, Mason Mount, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Livramento scoring, Broja scoring. Dom Solanke scoring, Levi Colwell at Huddersfield, who's having a really good loan there. Fortress Cobham will continue to shine and will continue to make great products for each of the teams. And we wanted to keep Livramento, and I'm hoping that if Thomas Tuchel is still here in 2 years' time, that we will have Livramento and Ambrosius in our team coming in the next few years. And I'm hoping when Lukaku does come back, yes, I know he's no goals in 6, but he's too hungry to not want to score. And I think, even Timo Werner, as bad as his goal scoring record is, he will find pockets of space and make that space for us to go and create chances, and we've got to look ahead now as Chelsea. We've got Malmo, Southampton, and Burnley, Newcastle away. So we've got really tough fixtures, and I'm hoping that if we come through all of those fixtures, that we will be real title contenders. I'm just hoping that when we get to that stage of the season, come Christmas time, when Edouard Mendy and Hakim Ziyech go off for AFCON, that Kepa comes in and does the standard Mendy just a clean sheet with the back three. You look at Chelsea's squad then, we didn't have Kante, Aspie, Christensen, Romelu Lukaku, Timo Werner playing yesterday, and I know how critical those players are to this Chelsea team. But we gave those players a rest the other day yesterday against Norwich. They're all still to come back into the team in the next couple of days. And I'm hoping that they'll all play, on Tuesday in the Carabao Cup against Southampton, because I'm hoping that Mendy will keep another clean sheet, as it becomes just a standard on Tuesday. I don't think Brozier is allowed to play since his parent club, but I know Livramento will play. And Livramento, when he played against us in the league, he was in sublime for keeping CHO quiet and everything else. So, it was really, really good to see. And Thomas Tuchel really liked Tino Livramento, because he spoke about Livramento in his actual press conference after the game. He said, Livramento is such a good talent, and he's looking forward to working with him, hopefully, if he's still here. And I'm just hoping that Marina gives Rudiger the money that he wants to stay at Chelsea. I know they're kind of stalling to an agreement, but I'm really hoping that Marina pulls her finger out and gives Rudiger whatever he wants, because he's been phenomenal under Thomas Tuchel. And a lot of people are getting new contracts. Mason Mount is up for a new contract as well at Chelsea. So I'm hoping that in the few weeks that so many players are getting new contracts, that that we will be tied down long term to players and everything else. And I'm hoping that we will go on, and we've also got the FIFA World Cup in January or February of 2021 or 2022 rather, because we've got to go and sort that out in the UAE. That's been announced in the last couple of weeks as well. So I'm hoping that football is mad, and I'm hoping that with the squad that we've got, with the tactical manager that we have, that he can change up the formations for each of the teams that we play. And I think this weekend was a real intent from Chelsea Football Club and Fortress Cobham of the amount of talent that Fortress Cobham has produced over the years and will continue to produce as well. Our under 21s are unreal. Our women's team are just unreal under Emma Hayes as well. Top of the FWL, I think it is. Arsenal and Chelsea are the top two dogs in the women's league as well. And it's real fascinating watching those two sides, because Beth Mead and the amount of talent that Arsenal have, it's surprising that Mikel Arteta doesn't watch the women's Arsenal team, because he could actually learn some tactical nous from the Arsenal women's team. And if some of the women played in the Arsenal team, boy oh boy, I think Arsenal would be a real force to be reckoned with. Beth Mead is one of the most clinical strikers in the WSL, but we've got some unbelievable talent in the Chelsea team as well. We've had past players like Emily Aluko, and we've had really good players over the years. So I'm just hoping that we might just see the back of Ollie tonight. So before you go, smash a like on this video, and I'll be back tomorrow with a preview for Chelsea versus Southampton in the Carabao Cup. Cheers.